So it is 6 o'clock, so we'll call the meeting to order. All members are present. So we will move on to, there is a few additions to the agenda, which we'll cover later on. Move on to approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Second by Thomas, second by Gerald. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. No public comment. Move on to the consent agenda.
Cheryl, I think you were in for bills today. I was in today. Nothing really out of the ordinary. I noticed the Grand March decorations and prom decorations were paid out of there, out of whatever account.
Yep.
And the Costa Rica trip, first payment, that's coming up.
I don't remember what the travel dates are, but
Coming up anyway. First payment was made on that. And the audio enhancement in both the senior high and the elementary school. That's
It's done.
finished now.
it's done.
Pretty
We're
cool.
we're at the point of just troubleshooting random here and there, and so it's been nice.
Yeah, just, that was about it. Roof project, of course, the roofs are ongoing, so I probably don't even need to comment on that.
But this was a big one, and this was a big one for us. So
That's about all I really noticed, and nothing out of the ordinary.
personnel items, there are 2 career increments that I just want to call out because we missed them last month, and apologies to Sarah Hathrath and Anne Marie Stevens for missing their career increment. Nothing happens for their payment, but I think it's important to make sure that we recognize their career increments along with everybody else. We do have a couple of resignations and hires. You're going to see some ins and outs, so those are comparable. And then this is also the time of year where we have all of our summer services. So we have our pause workers, which is going to be the summer date for the summer childcare program. But then you'll also see ESY, which is extended school year services. And that's for services based on individual education programs. So different types of contracts. And then I do want to call out donations because we have a number of donations this month. Again, coming back to the wrestling club donated $12,000. The Booster Club donated $4,000 toward wrestling mats. I think that's an important amount of money to acknowledge and recognize. You're also going to see River of Life donated $500 toward weightlifting. That's a really fun kind of competition that some of our students get to compete in, and then when they win money, it comes to the school district to put into the weights program. So that's an exciting competition. So just wanted to acknowledge those donations, and then I would stand for any questions on the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second by Ron. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Moving on to communication items.
My administrative report is included. A couple of things. May is always does bring Teacher Appreciation Week. I know the principals talked at our May meeting about teacher appreciation as well. But it's just a nice reminder as I kind of come to the end of the month just to look back. And I really think at this time of year, it's a nice time to look back at all of the individuals who really make our school district function. And it's from our custodians to our cooks, to our teachers, to our paraprofessionals, to our administrators, to our bus drivers, to all of the individuals that are really working every day to make our school year successful for kids. So it is Teacher Appreciation, but it's kind of a nice time at the end of May to do a quick look back and say thank you. So the legislative session, I was hoping to have had has concluded, and here is the deal. It still has not concluded. Hopefully at the June work session, I can go into more detail. A couple of things I do want to call out, though, that are pretty important. One is that Governor Walz did sign a bill boosting pension reform for Minnesota teachers, police officers, and firefighters. That was a really large push to really eliminate some of the penalties for early retirement. It does not make them completely penalty-free, but it certainly does limit the penalties for early retirement. And so it's more of a, you'll see that a reduction in the teacher retirement age from 62 to 60 and the lowered the percentage for teachers with 30 years of service. So I'm hopeful that that helps to draw some individuals into our profession in education. And I'm hopeful that we have teachers to replace our retiring teachers in the future, but it's certainly something we pay attention to. But there was a large push, and I was actually a little surprised at the pace that it went through. So that's good news. Also, there's some additional funding that has been allocated to offset the cost of unemployment insurance for summer staff. This is an ongoing conversation about the sunsetting the eligibility. The speaker, Hortman, did note that there was not enough votes to repeal that mandate, but I do expect that conversation to come up in the future. For us, what that means is that there will not be a financial implication for the school district for the summer unemployment, which has been a large advocacy on our part to say, if this is the mandate, let's talk about funding and working hard to not put that on our taxpayers' backs. So we'll see where that goes, but that was good news that there's money there for the summer unemployment. The other piece that is good news, I think, is that there is an amendment that passed allowing school districts to begin prior to Labor Day in the 26-27 and 27-28 school year, because Labor Day is so late in those years. So that has been a long time, a lot of advocacy, and so we were excited to see that come through. So when our calendar committee meets, I know that'll probably be a valid discussion. Just the end of the year wrap up. Tomorrow is the last student day. Enjoy summer, and we'll see kids in the fall, and staff will be here half day on Tuesday, or if they have flexible professional development days, and some of them attend graduation. So it starts to be pretty quiet here by the end of the week, and then the custodians, we can get out of their way and let them do what they're doing. So I am excited to remind students and parents and our community members and staff that as we go through the strategic planning process, we are going to be seeking feedback, and we're going to ask questions about what people would like to see, and because I think it's really important for you as you do your work as a school board that you hear from community members, and you hear from students and staff, and you hear from many parties involved. So that'll be coming up as well. And then lastly, just the summer meal program is available once again. So I included the flyer just for, I'm not presenting the right document. Let me go back, and I just want to share that. I want to share that document so people can see the times of, there we go, of the summer food service. So we'll make it a little bit bigger. So kids eat free. Breakfast is from 8 to 8:30, and lunch is from 11:30 to 12:30 at the elementary. So just a reminder, I know we've had some really positive feedback by the summer food program, so wanted to make sure that was shared out as well.
That's for all kids, not just pause.
It's for all kids in the community.
Okay, I just wanted to.
Yep. Thank you. Good question. Revenues and expenditures have been updated. There we go. Revenues and expenditures have been updated. We'll take a quick peek over. Nothing stood out super dramatically, but I will just pause for any questions that anybody might have. So again, just as a reminder, as a couple times a year, I like to just remind people, if they wonder what things these are, they can always go back to the beginning of this document on the July tab, and you'll see all these notations that are going to tell you what makes up. So state aid is our per pupil aid, compensatory funding, concurrent enrollment, special education aid. So people can see what goes into each of those different funding sources. And then similarly, as we get to the expenditures, I'll just remind people too, if you wonder how is this broken out? So again, July, that first tab, salaries and wages is pretty self-explanatory. But employee benefits are our teacher retirement account, the public employee retirement account, insurance, 403B, and so on. You can see some of the things that are included in each of those areas. And again, kind of scrolling over to April 30th, they are updated through the end of April for expenditures. And then this document and the expenditures breaks it out a little bit more. It's kind of just a couple different ways that you can slice the pie. So you can look at how our expenditures are divvied out, whether it's all salaries and wages, or if you want to look at administration versus regular instruction versus vocational, and so on. So just a reminder kind of how that's set out, and that you can take a look at things in different pieces, cutting up the pie a little bit differently. So that's what I have for my administrative report.
Any questions, comments? Okay, moving on to committee organizational reports. I don't know very many people have met.
Yeah, I just want to pass on just a reminder about the community building. I know it's kind of early because it's at the end of June, but for the preschool playground, if you could think about this, mark the calendars, June 23rd to the 30th is what we have. That Chris is working out, or his company, as far as that community build. More information will be provided once we know how much of the port in place we're going to have and what it's going to take as far as landscaping or these things in that area. So, and then just one other thing, I did have a community member asked me about the free lunch program for the summer, if the school will continue doing that. And I said yes, and they were extremely happy about that. So good, kudos on the school district for providing that, and folks that do that every year.
Anything else?
District-wide staff development met early this month, but just really kind of finished up the plans for those dates for the rest of the school year. And then I did not make it to the staff meeting. I had a work requirement.
Yep.
Out of the way.
Staff had it was a little bit anticlimactic because oftentimes we're highlighting the end of the legislative session. And so there was still a lot of kind of what ifs and conversational circles. So, but it was, so not a super productive, you didn't miss much. Let me just say that.
Okay. And hearing nothing other, student representative report?
All the other organizations have kind of like closed up, so there's not much new information. Besides for FFA, we got our new officers. So that was on one Sunday this month. I don't remember which one. And we found out our new officers and we got our rewards.
Okay. No old business, moving on to new business. Adult Basic Education Glacial Lakes Consortium.
So annually, we have an agreement with, one of the requirements in education is to provide adult basic ed. And we do that through a collaboration with a consortium. It's the Glacier Lakes Adult Basic Ed Consortium. I'm gonna quick open the document and you can see all of the individuals that are part of that, this organization. Because there's actually quite a wide array of individuals that are part of the participating agreement. So you'll see we've got ACGC, BBE, Buffalo Lake Hector, Bethel, Cokato, Hutchinson, KMS, Litchfield, and Newland, and Spicer, ourselves, and Wilmer. So all part of a consortium. And then we also are able to provide adult basic ed services to the Candy Ojai County Jail. So this is an annual agreement. If there's any questions, I would stand for those.
I make a motion to approve the Glacial Lakes Adult Basic Education Agreement as presented.
Second.
Second by Bruce. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Moving on to the Minnesota State High School League resolution.
So this is again an annual agreement for the Minnesota State High School League. You will find in years past, I've asked the board members to watch a video, and in alternate to the video, there is the Minnesota State High School League letter. So you can read the letter, which essentially, as a school district, you're agreeing we will support and follow the Minnesota State High School League rules, regulations, and be governed under their entity.
It's either yay or you're not in.
It's either you agree or you're not in.
I'll make a motion that we approve.
I'll second.
Motion by Bruce, second by Cheryl. Just roll call
It's a
vote.
roll call, yep.
Bruce,
Aye.
Cheryl,
Aye.
Jacob,
Aye.
Rachel,
Aye.
Thomas,
Aye.
Gerald,
Aye.
Colin.
Aye.
Okay. Moving on to, so it's carried. Moving on to Teacher Appreciation Week.
Yep, so this is just the formal recognition with everybody's names. So I'm gonna just pull that up again so that the governor's proclamation is here for you, so we can see the actual proclamation. But also just making sure that we take just a second to recognize the staff that are our teaching staff. And we have, see the list of all of our teachers that are part of our district. So just the formal recognition of our teaching staff. And that does not require any action, it's just informational.
Looking forward, upcoming meetings. Okay. Any questions, comments, missing anything? Oh, okay. Moving on to closing the meeting. It's recognition of superintendent closed the meeting pursuant to Minnesota statute chapter 13D.03.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Thomas, second by Ron. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Meeting closes at 6:17.
All right, the recording is active.
I make a motion to open the Board of Education meeting.
Motion by Cheryl,
Second.
second by Gerald. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Meeting is back open at 7:37.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried and we're adjourned.